All right, just sit back and get ready to have the most fun you ever had with an electronic device.
Hi, everybody. Welcome out to the Get On With It Sports Show. It is Wednesday, February the 5th, 2025. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none other than Mr. RadioPete and Mr. Harry Lug Nutz. Say hello, gents.
Howdy.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. How is
Welcome
everybody?
to the show. Hey, pitchers and catchers. How many days?
They're there now, aren't they? Some of them are. Monday is the official day, but
Is it? Okay, I knew it was. Yeah, that's didn't used to be. Well, I guess that's about right.
Are we having a baseball season, or are we just giving the trophy to the Dodgers?
I think they're just deciding that now. They might just avoid it, get right to the Dodgers, call it a day, and everybody goes to golf early.
I'm fine with that.
Cool.
And then at this
you know what? Maybe we could just have maybe 3 days a week. We could just have exhibition games.
I think that's great. I think we need to have a Subway series just that means nothing. And
how about once a month, 3 games every month between all the locals. Mets and Yankees can play 18 games, or maybe 19. They'll play 4 games, so you can have bragging rights. We could do that with Pennsylvania. We could do that with Ohio. We could do that with Florida. We could do it with Texas. We could do it twice in California.
And then we could just have, instead of the All-Star break, we could just have a night where everybody throws baseballs at the Houston Astros.
Yeah, we can do that.
Or every team, how many players are there amongst all the teams?
I don't know. We don't need to figure that out either. Let's move on.
Well, we could probably send 4 or 5 from each team.
I would say at least 4.
Oh, I got you. I thought you were trying to calculate how many players.
No. Like 1 inning could be I think with minor leagues included, it's something like 700 some odd. But 1 inning could be okay, now it's going to be the Blue Jays in the infield. Like the entire Blue Jays infield is just plays for that half inning.
Right. And that's it. It's not a bad idea. But I think you're right, though. I think you're onto something, right? Just cut out all the middlemen. The beginning of every baseball season, have everybody have their opening day ceremonies. And then day 2, just give the trophy to the Dodgers. All right? And then football, have everybody have their opening day ceremonies and opening day football and the opening weekend of football. And then week 2, just give the trophy to the Kansas City Chiefs. And then, and then we'll just watch basketball and hockey. And pickleball, of course.
Right. And that thing where you kick the ball on the curve. You kick the soccer ball on the curve, ping pong, oversized ping pong.
Yes, that. What do they call it?
Tech ball, I think.
Tech ball. Yeah, you're right. It's tech ball.
Toe jam.
Yeah.
That's going to be the next big one. I'd like to see LeBron and the ex-soccer players and other ex-athletes playing that game.
I feel like if Wemby would be the person for that.
He'd be spiking the ball with his foot from 9.5 feet in the air.
Yeah, maybe he's too tall. I'm trying to think of the physics of that.
Spiking the ball with his foot from 10 feet in the air.
How high do you think he lifts his foot in the air?
From 10 feet in the air.
And then jumping and then just kicking downward? Yeah.
Or at least
it's like, I see this cartoon where the one guy goes back on one knee and the legs all the way up here. It's just,
that smash was traveling at 84 miles an hour. Broke the glasses of the defender.
Yeah.
Broke the glasses of the wife of the defender sitting on the bench.
And somehow Jokic continues to beat everybody.
Right. Do you hear what?
Because he gets assists.
Yeah.
You hear what Joker said last week after the Knicks game?
Yeah.
That he thinks the Knicks are one of the top 3 teams in the league.
Yeah. And he said they're definitely a contender.
Yeah. So
they are.
Nice words coming from Joker.
Well, one of the things that I don't think everybody realizes about him is that he's very much a realist, and he does it a lot of times with humor. But he's much more of a hard ass on his team behind closed doors than I think he understands the realities of where things are at.
Did you go to the game last week? Because it was in Denver.
Yeah.
Were you watch it?
I did.
You did.
It was over early here. I was doing something else. And
did you? Now I have to ask you this. I know I've asked you this before on Nick's Nuggets games. Were you happy or sad or both?
I will be honest.
Mm-hmm.
If the Knicks play anybody in the playoffs, I will root for them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the connection to this Knicks team that I do to this Nuggets team. I just don't like a lot of the personalities on the Knicks team, and I hate the organization. What they did to Charles Oakley, I can't. It's still stuck in my craw.
Mm-hmm.
I don't love him. I don't love Tibbs. I think Brunson's okay. I think they got a lot of personalities on their team that are kind of represent what I think is wrong with the NBA. Having said that, I think they have a lot of depth. And I think that's the Knicks.
That's one thing that they haven't had in a long time. They have a lot of depth, and anybody can come in.
Look, they have for the first time since I tweeted this the other day, or posted this on the Get On With It social medias that all three people follow. I think since 1975, this is the first time that the New York Knicks have two starting all-stars.
We have in the thousands of people following, by the way, but that's okay.
But
I knew your sentiment. Though.
1,000 people did not see it. Follow it. Trust me, 1,000. If 4 people saw it, it would be great. It's more our lack of ability to understand how any of this shit works.
They follow it, and then they took us out of their feed.
It's a pity. It's a
yin and a yang thing, right?
It's a pity follow. They don't actually look at when they get the notification. They go, yeah, okay. Yeah. At least that's what I do. Oh, somebody's calling me.
So
I thought that was your.
Sorry, that's all the time I have.
I will. I hope the Knicks can. I hate the Sixers. I hate the Celtics. I hope the Knicks can go very far, but we'll see. I think the East is kind of up for grabs. I think that as good as Cleveland is, I think that they're beatable. However,
that being said,
they don't lose very many games. If they continue to play this way, they just have to be able to translate that into the playoffs, which is sometimes hard for teams. But they have guys who have playoff experience. They just haven't gotten all the way.
Yeah, it can be difficult to be consistent. Like even especially when you get into the playoffs, right? You need consistency. It's over a shorter span, just the length of that series,
right?
But that's when,
and it's matchups.
A couple of off games.
It's matchups.
That's it. You don't have time to recover.
If you get the bad draw, and we all know how the NBA works, it's like, sometimes a team that shouldn't be in the playoffs gets in the playoffs because of the ridiculousness of the play-in series. And then all of a sudden you got to, face Steph Curry or LeBron James or a recently healthy Philadelphia 76ers team in the first round. And for the Knicks, I think that's a problem. I think the Knicks can beat anybody with the exception of Boston and Cleveland. I think that they match up better against Boston. I think Cleveland's a matchup nightmare for a lot of teams. I think the only team that is better than Cleveland in the NBA right now is OKC.
Oklahoma. Yeah, Oklahoma. Yeah.
And it's because they can match up with them with their size and their athleticism, and they're slightly better shooters. Right. Look, the Knicks should be very happy with the trade. Karl-Anthony Towns is having his best season. Jalen Brunson is an all-star starter, okay, after years of being shunned from even being an all-star. And they have the makings of a good team. They have that depth. They have that third guy in Mikal Bridges who could score 40 on some nights. And there's times when I watch the Knicks and to me, from watching the Knicks more this season than I have in the past 2 seasons, I sometimes think he's the Knicks' best player. I really do, when it comes to both sides, both ends of the court. So the Knicks look okay. I think they're one player away. They're just and it comes down to the things that people don't really see in the stats. It comes down to having that lockdown defender and/or the guy, the third or fourth option, who all of a sudden scored 18 in a playoff game by shooting 5 of 8 from the 3-point line.
Right.
That's what basketball has become.
Right. Who's we used to call that the unchartable element.
Right.
And we mostly applied to football. Like, who was the backup linebacker because the starter got hurt on the second play of the game, and the guy came in and had the game was life. Like, who's that player on the Knicks?
Right.
I don't know. Like, you could say, oh, it might be Mikal Bridges, but usually he's better than the guy who comes in and, you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
He's, like you said, he's capable of putting up 40, and he's not a guy that you are only hoping for a little bit from, and then he comes in and blows up one game.
And what I like about
doing that.
Right. What I like about Bridges is that he's inconsistent with his offensive numbers, but he's not inconsistent with his effort and his defense.
Right.
And let me tell you something. I've watched a lot of NBA games in the last couple weeks.
I was going to say a couple hours.
Well, the defense is fucking atrocious.
It's horrible throughout the league. We've said this for a long time.
Just atrocious. And when I see guys actually play defense, and then the damn whistle blows for really what should be incidental contact. I'm watching games where it's like it's a given that they're going to be over 100 points by the end of the third quarter. And I don't think that makes for the best of basketball.
No, it doesn't. I was going to say, you said Cat was having the best season of his career. He's home.
Well,
so,
yeah.
you know.
I also think that, look, basketball is chemistry. Sports are chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
You look at a team like the Minnesota Timberwolves, who, quite honestly, I thought were going to be primed to win a championship.
Yeah.
And
the last year and what they did.
And they screwed with the chemistry. And they're not playing as well. And Anthony Edwards, who's still a great player and a top 10 player in the NBA, he just isn't having the season that he had last year. A team like the Phoenix Suns just can't seem to get their game together. You know, the Golden State Warriors, everybody's, talking about, oh, they're going to be back, and, just not there.
No.
And then, the elephant in the room, which we should probably talk about, is the team that went to the NBA Finals last year. Trades one of the top 3 players, at least offensively, in the NBA to the fucking Lakers.
Yeah.
Which
do we have any theories about why? Did they just say this is the best we're going to get? Did he say, like?
I think there was some personnel problems, but they came out he's like a heavy drinker now or something like that, and. I heard that.
Like what? Two things I heard.
I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but
who cares?
I don't give a shit. I'm just saying. I heard that might be a reason.
I heard it was an absolute surprise for him. He wanted to stay there his whole career, and this hit him like a load of bricks.
He didn't want to go to the Lakers. He didn't want to go. Here, I think there's 3 things.
I don't imagine he
did.
But
you know what? I mean, LeBron probably made a phone call. He's like, I don't want AD on the team anymore, and I want Luka.
I don't think that's the case.
But I mean, it couldn't be that he
runs the league, right? LeBron.
LeBron runs the Lakers.
Here's the 3. I don't know about that. So to all of that, here's the 3 things that I think are going on. Number 1, I think that the Lakers are realizing that even with AD and LeBron, they're not going to win a championship. Not as they're currently constructed. And they can't seem to get the people there. They can't seem to strong arm, the Heat to be able to send Jimmy Butler or whatever other LeBron, let's try this guy and I'll cast him off in 3 weeks when it doesn't work. I think that the league is looking at the Lakers with an aging Anthony Davis, who, to his credit, has had a great year and a great couple years. And I think is actually arguably a top 3 big man in the league, and has been more consistent than Embiid. I think the only player who's been better than him at the center position has been Jokic. And that's not saying, that's not a criticism. I mean, Anthony Davis is a double monster. And I'm not talking 10 and 11. I'm talking 25 and 12. So I think the league is looking at, hey, we can't afford. The Lakers have never had an heir apparent, never not had an heir apparent to take over the face of that organization since
Kareem.
Before that, back when Wilton and Jerry West played.
Yeah.
They always had, when they knew those guys were going to go, retire, they got Kareem. Then they knew what they had with Magic. And They did a lot to get other players there. We don't talk about how the Lakers all were able to manipulate all of these great players there at one time. And then you had Shaq and Kobe, and that trade
I have, Kobe is the last heir apparent in my mind.
Well, and they realized that. And the NBA suffered for it, okay? And now the LeBron experiment, granted they won a bubble championship, but it just doesn't seem to be filling, that West Coast Lakers mystique like it used to be. And I think I think that there were some strings pulled here to be able to get this done. I think the third part of it is that I think Dallas really realized that they've got a guy here who is a generational player who does have some personality issues for them. Okay. And I think the bigger issue is that they didn't want to have to fork out $350 million to extend him.
Without a guarantee that he's going to fix those flaws.
Right. And look, Luka Doncic played the second most minutes in the NBA last year. Okay. A lot of this is kind of convenient talk.
Behind Brunson.
Yeah. So you could say what you want about him. They say the same thing about Jokic. Oh, he's out of shape. He's not out of shape. He's just white. Okay. Sometimes we do not get to be what we want to be on the outside.
Does he really? Do either of those guys really look that different than the way players used to look?
No.
And I don't mean back in the 60s.
No.
I mean even back in the 80s and the 90s. Not everybody was muscled and cut. No. Guys had regular bodies.
And look, I do think this is a Moses Malone, Charles Barkley type of moment where I do think that if there's one thing you could say about LeBron James is that whatever that guy does conditioning wise, now part of it is just genetics, but it's not just genetics. He's got he really works hard at keeping his body in top shape. And he's also learned how to use it to get the longevity that he's had out of it. Now, Luka's 25. It's 15 years LeBron's junior, 16 years LeBron's junior, right? Is LeBron 40 or 41?
40. I think he's going to be 41 this year.
I think he's 39. I thought he was going to be 40.
Whatever. Almost right 15
he's
years.
At least 40.
Yeah. So, maybe LeBron's got 2, 3, 4 more years left in him. I don't know. We all know what happens after 41 or 40. You might be able to get to 42, but you're not getting much past that at the level that he's currently playing.
Maybe Luka's mother likes LA better than
I think that the family and Luka were really disappointed. He just built a $25 million house in Dallas. His family is happy there. I think there's a little bit of something off with this trade. Having said that, I don't think it makes the Lakers a champion right now. And I certainly don't think it makes Dallas a champion right now.
Doesn't do anything
Lakers
for either
defense of them. Just got a lot worse.
What it does is it gives the Lakers somebody else to build on. And it gives the Lakers somebody who can draw European players over there.
I can see what it does for LA, but why would Dallas want to do this? Like you said. And I was kidding before about that. I mean, I heard that report came up, but who gives a shit, right?
I think they were strong-armed by the NBA to do this.
Because the NBA wants LA to win, not Dallas.
All we hear about. I mean, look, as a Nuggets fan, okay? The Nuggets beat the Lakers to go to the NBA Finals, okay? The year that they won a championship. And all we heard about on national television was LeBron by getting on the air and saying he might retire.
Right.
So the Nuggets win.
Might retire.
The Nuggets
win.
He
is retiring. Might retire.
Might. The Nuggets win was buried under that.
Well, nobody cared about it anyway, right?
The other thing, too, is that this timing was perfect because it was the Monday of Super Bowl, week. And that story dominated the news for 2.5 days.
Yeah.
So,
I'm going to pull stuff away. Well, we're going to talk much more. I mean, this is probably the longest in a while, longest basketball conversation we had, but we're gonna after this show, the show 2 weeks from now, it's gonna be mostly basketball, a little bit of hot stove baseball. So we're gonna get into it. We're gonna do deep dives into the NBA, and by then, hopefully, some stuff will come out as to why this actually happened, and we can discuss that as well.
Yeah, I don't know what Dallas really gets out of it. I mean, Davis. Look, Davis is. I like him as a player. That the problem was he can't stay healthy, right? Which he's done. He's been so far this. He's. Well,
they're saying the same thing about Doncic because he's hurt this year and he was hurt the year before.
Right.
And they're blaming.
But Davis has a little bit longer career history of
record of being
a number of games. Right. But he's got this year, next year contract, then I guess a player option 27-28, and then he's an unrestricted in 28-29 season. So he's there for at least this.
And he'll be a 35-year-old center.
Yeah, right. He'll be right. That's it. He'll
he's there for now.
Right. He's there for now. But what do the Mavericks want? Maybe just, I mean, they're outside the play-in right now. So maybe they're thinking maybe a little bit better defense, and you're going to get not the same number of points you'll get from Doncic out of Davis, but you'll get points. Close. You'll get 20.
Well,
and much better defense, and maybe enough to get them into the play-in.
Anthony Davis is gonna, his points per game is gonna go up. So if he's averaging 22, 23, 25 right now, which I think he is,
he'll be in the 30s.
He'll be 28, 29 per game.
Yeah. So
and the delta of the baskets that he stops on the defensive end, they'll probably be in a positive.
Right.
Luka Doncic
maybe
is
that's
a great
enough
player.
to get him into the playoff mix.
Luka Doncic put up 70. Okay. Devin Booker put up what? Did he put up 70? I don't know. That shit doesn't matter to me anymore. Okay. When you can put up 32, 17 rebounds, and 16 assists in a tight game when your team is down by 12 going into the fourth quarter, those are the players that are difference makers. And Anthony Davis is not that player. I'm not sure Luka Doncic is either. I think Luka is a great scorer. I think he's a great player. I think his basketball IQ is enormously high. He is and he's box office. Let's face it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. It's not like he was playing on the Washington Wizards. He had talent around him. Dallas made it to the NBA Finals last year.
They did.
Now we kind of knew they didn't really have a chance to win, but it was pretty impressive that they got there nonetheless. So this is a weird sort of eject button for the Mavs. And I don't think this would have happened if Cuban was still majority owner, without a doubt.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, Davis is 25.7. He's 10th.
Yeah. And I think he's averaging 12 rebounds a game.
Doncic does not register, I think, because he's only played 20 some odd games.
Whatever it was, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Look.
But yeah, I would imagine it's up there.
Right. All right.
So we'll see. I think this could push this year. Let's just say Doncic wasn't going to be back until March, April. I don't know what the verdict was. I think this helps if Davis stays healthy. Now, the Mavs backup center, who's also really good, which they were going to start so that Davis could play the 4 and not the 5, is out now with a hairline fracture. So who knows? Who knows what really happens here? But they've got enough big men where he might be able to slide back into that 4 spot. And he's a great off-ball defender. He and Karl-Anthony Towns have that thing, though, where if you look at their numbers, you're blown away. But can they really be the guys who just dominate in the clutch? And in the history of basketball, there's not a lot of big guys who can do that.
Right.
There's very few who have.
Davis is a guy who can do it for a game.
Yes.
Or maybe 2 over the course of a 7-game series.
But then he's going to do something.
Not the guy you want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. You don't want to count on him. Have to count on him for 3 or 4. For
but he is an excellent defensive player.
Yeah, no question.
Got him. All right. We will
You know
get.
what? That's pretty much what we really need to talk about in basketball, isn't it? I mean,
we're done with basketball.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much all there is right now. But we'll do.
Are we even going to talk about the Super Bowl? I mean, does this?
Well, we got some stuff to talk about.
Boy, we got stuff to do. But I like the fact that we got drawn into basketball first.
Yeah,
kind of enjoyed
good.
that.
Well, it's a telltale of what's coming up on the next several future shows before baseball really gets cranking. So
this is where either John or I go, well, what do you think about basketball, Harry? And then we'll have a cup of coffee while he talks. And then I come back and go, yeah, but he's pretty good defensively,
right?
And then I do the same thing when you guys talk about the fucking should some Met from 1978 be in the Hall of Fame? The legacy of Ed Kranepool.
All right, so
we're gonna go. Well, his strikeouts per game was pretty good, and we go, that's right. And then we talk about it for half an hour.
Exactly.
He's no Lee Mazzilli.
Who is though? Other than Lee Mazzilli, right? Yeah. All right, so we got we were remiss about by 20 something minutes now. Meme of the day.
Oh God!
Meme of the day. It's one. Meme of the day.
I was trying to kill it.
We do once. Meme of the day. Here we go. And
memes are hard
in honor for this meme. This meme is in honor of everything that most of us are going to eat on Sunday watching the Super Bowl.
Where are we going to eat?
Whatever.
What we're going to eat.
What we're going to eat.
You said where we're going to eat.
No, what we're going to eat.
Wait, let's.
I want to eat at the Skylar Diner, but it's here.
Is it going to be like a funky kind of dip? Is it going to be?
No, it has nothing to do with that. You'll see. It's not.
No, all right, okay.
Let's refer to the moniker and get on with it.
There you go. So I think the sign basically is telling everybody what they should or what they're going to wind up with after they eat.
The runs,
everything on Super Bowl. There you go. Right there. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Ass fondue, $150.
There was a moment there where I thought just maybe, it would be better than the past.
There you go. Well, it's not. It's incrementally better than the past.
Well, it's not Asian.
It's not an Asian menu misprint. But ass fondue,
$150 though.
Ass fondue, $150. I mean, that's cheap at half the price for ass fondue. Depending on depending on where it's coming from, if you catch my drift.
Interestingly enough, that's the name of J-Lo's new album.
Ass fondue. You're not wrong.
I don't know if I would pay $150. I might pay $150, but not $150.
J-Lo dips her ass in cheese. I'll pay more than $150.
Yeah. J-Lo
depends on whose ass and what that fondue has been through.
Well, and what are you dipping into it?
This is well. There you go.
Is it a bread fondue? I think it's
in the name.
Chocolate fondue?
I think it's all in the name.
It's all contained right in there.
Who cares?
All right. All right. So we got some football going on.
Do I get a lobster?
Marshmallows you want to dip in there for contrast?
All right.
That's garnish. That's all that is. That's all. Anyway, so just as long as there's no corn. Oh, I'm sorry, I went there. In any event, had to kill it because we had to move on. We had to get on with it. Anyway, so we got some football going on. It's been Super Bowl week. Everybody met with the media. Yesterday, I guess, was the big media day down in
you met with everybody.
I did. I flew down there. I was on Radio Row. I did it. Right. Yeah. It's like I wanted you guys to come, but you were busy, so I handled it myself. I've
been banned for the last 10 years. So
speaking of ass fondue,
well, that's why he's with banned folks.
It was the old nacho incident.
It was the whole nacho incident.
83
of 2015.
Superdome.
It's like, there you go.
Actually, it was a Pringles, not nachos.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Well, at least the can was a Pringles can.
Yeah. So just so you're aware, the reason I'm wearing this today
is because you're trying to look like Jim Fossil.
Not at all. He was taller than I am. The one time I met him, I actually was looking up at him, and I'm 6'4".
Right,
so go figure.
You're sitting down. No one could tell.
Right now I am. Right now. So anyway, whatchamacallit? So the Giants, 13 years ago today, the Giants beat the Patriots for the second time in 4 years, in 4 Super Bowls, 5 Super Bowls, in Super Bowl 46, and it was
17-14.
That was no. That was
the first one?
21-17. 17-14 was the first one. 21-17 was the one 13 years ago, and that was 13 years ago today, February 5th, Sunday, February 5th, 2012. So that's why I'm wearing.
Now, does that become more of a day of celebration or more painful as the years go by?
Both.
Or maybe both.
It's both. It's a celebration. It's painful 364 days of the year, and then it's a celebration the one day of the anniversary.
But like, you don't get to this day. And what year was it?
2012 was the last time. The
So
2011
13
season.
January 2012.
February 5th,
Yeah.
2012.
So there you go. Geez, now it's
13
almost
years.
a decade and a half. 13 years since we,
Right.
Or
But-
you just kind of go, hey, at least we got one, after 1970, Jet fan.
Right, and Tiki Barber did point one thing out to that the Giants have won a Super Bowl in every single one of the last 4 decades. The 80s they won one, the 90s they won one, the 2000s they won one. They were in 2 in the 2000s, but they won one.
Well, they
in the 2000s.
tiptoed into the 90s.
And no, it was the 90 season. It was not.
But I'm saying
it was right then, but still 80s, 90s, 2000s, and 2010s. Right. So he says, so they've won a Super Bowl in every one of the last 4 decades. They have another 5 years to keep that record going. So I don't know. Are the Giants 4 or 5 years away from another Super Bowl?
I regretfully joined a New York Giants Facebook group. I think I was invited maybe by somebody. I don't know. And
I believe it was me that invited
and
you.
the ignorance of this.
It's ridiculous.
Their inability to understand that Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback in the draft just blows me away. Mm-hmm. They thinking that you should get Sam Darnold to be the quarterback of the Giants is just crazy to me.
It's horseshit. They have no idea what they're talking about. Shedeur Sanders is definitely is he Josh Allen? I don't know. I mean, was Josh Allen when they drafted him? He went of all the quarterbacks that went in the 2018 draft. He was one of the last.
Well, you got to.
Josh Rosen went before Josh Allen
coming in.
No, but the Bills didn't they?
Lamar Jackson was probably Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen were the best 2 of the bunch, and they were the last 2 to go.
But the Bills still traded up
to get him,
and Mahomes went after him.
Yeah. Mahomes went.
What did the Giants pick? 3?
Giants picked 3. So
will he be there at 3?
Well, I've watched a bunch of mock drafts. Okay, and to be honest with you, most of the mock drafts, not all, the majority of the mock drafts do not have the Browns or the Titans, either one of them, picking a quarterback. One of them is going to take the Heisman Trophy winner. I keep forgetting his name. Something Hunter, right?
Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter, yeah.
Travis Hunter.
And the other one is picking the
edge rusher.
The edge rusher, yeah. So the Giants will have their pick of Shedeur or Cam. And almost every single one of these mock drafts I saw, they have the Giants picking Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders not going to like 6th, 7th, or 8th.
No, I mean, I've seen...
One of the mock drafts actually has Shedeur Sanders going to the Jets.
Well, Mel Kiper has him go to the Giants.
Yeah, I think he's going to wind up.
Well, he's never wrong.
No, but I think I agree with them on this case. I'm not sold on Cam Ward. If they pick Cam Ward over Shedeur Sanders,
I don't think they will. I think if Shedeur Sanders is there, they're picking him. To be quite honest with you, I think if Shedeur Sanders isn't there, they're going to take Jackson Dart.
I don't like him either. Look, I'm not right.
I like Jackson Dart better than Cam Ward. That's my statement.
I'm not right about a lot of this stuff. Mm-hmm. But
that's my line.
When
I think it's all of our lines.
When it comes to pocket passers who translate well from college to the NFL, I'm pretty good at it.
You are. Fair enough. You are. Well, we're gonna do our this year. I mean, we do our draft show, right?
Yeah.
But we're gonna do.
Which is the one show where I have to do fucking homework and learn about college football.
Here's what I want to do this year. All right,
and I do none of it, and we come out within a couple of picks of each other.
I know, right? We'll do it.
Copy somebody from TV.
We'll do it later
they
this
did
month.
the research.
We'll do it right. Use their research, right? We'll do
What
it later
you're saying
this.
is my research is as good
I
as
think
a
your
pro.
research is.
This is my point.
You're nearly as good or slightly better than Charles Davis.
This is my point. This year, either later this month or early March, we're going to do the three of us. We're going to do our own mock drafts, and it's basically what we think. We can adjust it when we get to our draft show, but we're going to do it ahead of time. We're not going to do it that day. We're going to do it late February, early March, and we'll put them out there. And we'll get them on whatever social media we can, and try and get them into the mix with everybody else's, and see
Here's the other thing
see
that
what traction they can get.
Whoever we pick, okay, we have to assign a breed of dog that we think that they are most like.
Okay. Great. Now I got to research
breeds of dogs.
It could be a mutt. It could be a mix. It could be a combo. Travis Hunter is kind of a two-way guy, so maybe he's a greyhound.
He's a Lahopsadoodle.
He's a greyhound German Shepherd.
He's a greyhound Great Dane.
I don't know about that.
Yeah. He's big.
Gronk was a Great Dane.
Great Dane. Yeah, he was. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, that's more of a
He's a Bichon Pointer.
Chocolate lab Great Dane is Gronk. That kind of thing. Yeah. Yellow lab Dane.
I'm going to invent new dogs.
Great yellow Dane lab.
Yeah, Gronk is a grizzly bear Great Dane.
That's different. If you want to go there.
All right.
How
long before our actual draft show do we
I think it's April.
Well, we do our draft show.
We have to submit like a week.
Oh no, we'll do. No, yeah, we normally do it a week before.
It's a 3-hour notice. So
but here's the thing: I want to do these mock drafts in like either late February, or early March, so we can get them in the cycle with everybody else's and see if we can mix them in. I just want to wake up one morning and put on, like, you guys make fun of me all the time for watching Good Morning Football. I want to put on Good Morning Football one morning and see the crawl with everybody's mock drafts on the bottom, and see Harry Lug Nutz, RadioPete M, Jersey Johnny going across the bottom.
Never going to happen.
No, it's not. But I just want to see if we can make some sort of.
But it'd be entertaining.
It would be very entertaining.
It would be.
So, but all right. So anyway, yesterday was Radio Row. They did a lot of interviews or whatever, and I got to tell you, one reporter, and I'm not making this up. This actually happened, and you might have seen it. I don't know if I sent you the video.
No, I. But by the way, most of what you send me. Well, I already comes through.
You've seen it already, I'm sure. Well, because most of what I get, I send you guys, and then you get put in the algorithm. So it's all going to you first anyway.
Thank you for that.
Anytime. But anyway, one reporter
every morning at like 5:30 my time, John sent you a message. Pete sent. I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's fucking.
So whatchamacallit? Same reporter asked. Patrick Mahomes was getting interviewed.
Yeah,
and he said, Pete, I don't know if you heard. He says, the reporter asked of Patrick Mahomes. He says, so many great people have helped you win over the years. With that in mind, who is your favorite ref? All right, and then
Kelce.
The same reporter asked Travis Kelce. He says, what do you like better, Taylor Swift or the phantom 15-yard roughing the passer penalties?
Kelce was a bit of a prick about it.
Kelce said, that's a great question. Next. That's what he said. But Mahomes actually had fun with him. Mahomes actually said, I don't know. None that I could think of. He says, do you send anybody Christmas cards? He says, I can't think of it at the top of my mind. Let me talk to my teammates and I'll get back to you, he said. Yeah, so, nice. I mean, nice. At least he had, I agree with what the reporter said, but at least Mahomes had a little fun with it. Kelce just blew it off.
Yeah, well,
whatever. Which tells me something.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's the thing that I'm missing the days when an offensive lineman gets arrested with an 8-ball and a hooker the day before the game.
Really.
I'm just sort of missing,
or a linebacker.
Yeah. I'm missing those kind of Super Bowl week updates.
When's the last time we had somebody who couldn't play in the Super Bowl because they got arrested a couple days before?
It's been a while.
It's been a minute.
But it was a good trend there for a long time.
Yeah, wow. That's great. But all right. So championship weekend recap. Pete, I forgot to say this before we started. All right, the video you made. I went ahead and just to see what would happen. And I put it up on YouTube just to see. And once it uploaded to YouTube, it denied it because of the theme playing throughout the background. It heard the theme, so it took it right off. So the whole show would have been taken right off YouTube. So I didn't do it.
Got it.
Couldn't do it.
What theme is that?
So why don't you explain what you did and the end of it? So because I couldn't do it once I saw that we couldn't do it, I watched the end of it. So it was pretty good. So why don't you explain it?
So I put together a little conference championship weekend recap video. And it was basically the actually I sent you a link to check your email. I sent you a link to the Google Drive where it's stored.
Okay.
So you'll be able to watch it. And it was just a humorous way to sort of recap the two games. One quite extensively, the other not so much. And we were talking earlier, John and I, because it's full of footage from the TV, which is copyrighted, and we were looking up, can you play it? And if you give credit, maybe you can or maybe you can't.
There was some gray area there, so we were going to take our chances.
We were going to run it and just say, "Here, let's see what happens." The worst that can happen is they'll scold us and tell us not to do it.
Right, but then they said, because we were talking about the fact that YouTube is very big on the fact that music, and not so much the because like I said, there was a gray area there. If you credit the footage to the NFL and to CBS or whoever, we should be okay, right? Because a lot of people do that in Reels and everything else, but
they hear the music.
YouTube actually flags the music. So if you remember when we 4.5 years ago,
I remember.
Right. Well, right. So anyway, so go ahead. So that's why I did what I did. But go ahead, Pete.
So so we can't. Yeah. I wonder if it would play without the music.
It would probably work without the music. You put the bed in there, right? It wasn't playing the whole time. You actually.
Yeah. No, I'm saying I could.
Was the music from the TV?
No, he put the music.
No.
What music did you use?
It's the old NFL theme.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So just take that out. Put a song called Baklava.
Put Baklava on it, yeah.
Dump Truck Sayonara by the band.
Not a bad idea. Put Baklava in the background and run it, and then we can put it up, and then we'll post credit, and we're good to go.
Did you narrate over it? Did you talk over it?
No,
it's the footage and the announcers too. So you got Tony Romo on there, and
it's Romo and Nance and the announcers from the game.
Maybe we don't need the music. Try it again without the music.
Yeah, if you do that, then I'll post it up there, and it should be fine. It was because the only thing it didn't flag for the footage or anything. It flagged it for the music, and that's why I took it down.
All right.
Yeah.
So maybe we can get that done.
All right. So we'll do that, and then we'll post links and everything else with that.
We'll get it up by the end of the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we'll get if he runs it off, he runs a copy of it off. I'll put it up tomorrow.
Okay.
So it's fine.
I can get Jimmy on it.
Get Jimmy on it. Jimmy, get on it.
I might be able to get it to you in a few minutes, maybe by the end of the show.
All right, excellent.
All right.
Well, hopefully the end of the show is in about 25 minutes.
There you go. That'll work. But so more on that. They interviewed Barkley yesterday, and they whatchamacallit, Jameis Winston.
Charles Barkley?
Jameis Winston.
Oh, I heard that. Yeah.
Jameis Winston was standing there, and he says, "Hey, you're a free agent. You end up going to the Philadelphia Eagles." He says, "I'm a free agent now. I don't have a football team. I'm homeless right now. Where should I go?" And he says, "I hear the Giants need a quarterback."
Yeah, he said, "I hear New York is looking.
New York needs a quarterback. The Giants, yeah." So I can't tell whether he was busting the Giants' chops, Jameis Winston's chops, or if he was sincere. It just escaped me where
probably sincere. I mean, sort of sincere, or just sort of, I don't think it was a dig at the Giants.
Yeah. We'll see that happen. So, but just as a recap, regardless of the video, which we will post, and it was pretty good, but we will post that. But sans music, of course. But
all right, what else do we have?
Just as a recap for championship weekend, let's talk about the 300-pound elephant in the room. All right.
What is that?
All right. We've chatted about this amongst the three of us for the last 10 days, but not on a show. So I'll ask again. Was it a catch? And were both of those first downs? And I have a third question as far as we're talking about the Chiefs.
Which one a catch?
Was the
Mahomes on the sideline?
When the two of them went up and they both had possession and the ball hit the ground, was it a reception? Which they called it a reception, but
the answer to both questions is no.
Right.
It was not a catch, and it was not a first down.
I think you're wrong on the first down. I do think that he made that Josh Allen did make enough yards for it. He definitely.
Allen's was a first down. I thought you were talking about the Chiefs' first down. That was clearly not a first down.
Oh, no. I'm talking about Josh Allen.
Yeah, no, Allen's was a first down.
Yeah, Josh Allen's was a first down. The third down play before Josh Allen's first down was also a first down. Okay. Yep. And the Chiefs' first down was not a first down.
And the catch was not a catch.
And the catch was not a catch. And the last play that Josh Allen had the ball, Steve Spagnuolo dialed up that blitz and he threw the ball and they almost completed it. And they threw the flag. That flag came out. I'm telling you, and I'm really trying not to be a conspiracy theorist here, but it's so obvious now. I do. I resemble that remark. But I really, 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 truly believe that flag, with all the other bullshit going on, I really, truly believe that flag came out just in case it was a completion.
Yeah.
Because if you completed it, penalty. Sorry, not a completion.
But apparently there was no flag.
No, there was no flag because he didn't complete it. So there was no bullshit to have to do.
Well, but all right, so let me interject here, because since we're talking about the flag, here's what I don't understand, because I just have been over this and watching this footage now again and again.
I thought you were trying to take the audio off of your reel.
I am. I'm doing that. I got to shrink the file down because it's really big.
That's what she said.
So, yeah. So here's the thing.
Or you have to file the shrink down.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Jim Nantz says there is a flag, and then Tony Romo says, "Oh, I didn't see any flag."
And Jim Nantz says, "I was told there was a flag."
Now he says, "I was told there was a flag." So
they threw the flag. There was one scene of a flag on the ground.
Who told them?
Is there? I didn't see the scene of the flag on the ground.
No, they threw
who tells him there's a flag?
I guess so.
Well, that was my point. Do they have people on? Because he said on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
So do they have people on the sideline?
No, it was
they had sideline reporters.
Yeah. It was a side. I don't know, maybe it was a reporter, but a side judge threw the flag. So it was either an illegal shift, illegal motion.
To Pete's point, who's telling Nantz up in the booth?
Yeah, I understand.
And the radio guys, because the radio guys said the same thing.
It's a sideline reporter. They report to them. There's a flag. That kind of a thing. So they can. It's in their ear.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't see any footage of a flag actually on the field. I just thought it was a missed call, which makes me say, did the sideline person anticipate there was going to be a flag? Did the ref have the flag in their hand? And of course, you always want to be first. And so they, maybe he went to throw it and then didn't throw it because it was incomplete or whatever. And the sideline person said, "Oh, there's a flag." And then Nantz said, "Oh, well, there's reports of a flag." But if you saw footage of a flag,
what I don't understand is Jim Nantz is sitting in the booth watching the game. Granted, he's not right on top of it. He's far enough away up in the booth, but he's still looking at the game. He has to be told there was a flag. He couldn't see there was a flag.
Well, you would think that he would.
Right. But that's my point. I was told there was a flag. Tony Romo, there was no flag on the play. I didn't see a flag. What are you talking about? No flag. I look, I'm over wanting to feel this way about the NFL.
Yeah, whatever.
But it is what it is. I'm just we'll talk more about this.
Look, as a New York Giants fan in the 90s, okay, or speaking on behalf of the Utah Jazz fans from that era, or the Miami Heat or whoever, here's the reality of it, okay? When you have a dynasty that's good for ratings and good for the league, you got to beat them.
Yeah.
You can't be close because you're not going to get the calls. You're not going to get them. You got to beat them. You got to. So a note to the Bills. You got to come out and you have to beat them.
The biggest problem that the Bills had on Sunday is that in the first half, James Cook was running the ball down their throats. They couldn't stop him. When they came out in the second half, they abandoned the run. They got away from James Cook running the ball. I don't know why. It's not like they were down by 3 scores. They abandoned the run. If they had stuck with James Cook, if James Cook would have gotten that ball, he would have gotten so much yardage that they couldn't call it not a first down, or they would have had to throw a flag for something else or whatever.
Look, despite what you say about the Chiefs, and look, I'm the least
they're a
conspiratorial
good
person,
team,
and I'm the
it's
one
not like
who's,
they're a bad
and I'm
team
agreeing with that there's bias here. I think everybody agrees that there's bias here, unless you're getting a paycheck from the NFL. It's going to be nudged. It's going to be pushed and moved and nudged, and they're going to get the calls. They're going to get them.
Somebody
got to
said
beat them.
Somebody said it best last week. I forget who it was. Somebody said it best. Somebody on Rich Eisen's show on the Roku network. He said he doesn't think there's a conspiracy here. He doesn't think that the games are scripted. They're massaged.
Yeah.
And the only way they can be massaged, and to your point, Harry.
It was Bill Burr.
It was Bill Burr, right? It was Bill Burr. He says the only way they can be massaged is that
you let it be
the game is close enough. If they're out, if the team that the Chiefs are playing is out in front by 3 scores, they can massage it all they want. They ain't doing anything. As long as they keep it. I mean,
yeah, and
they're going to have to be really friggin' blatant with their massaging if to come back from that kind of a thing.
And the other thing is, it doesn't have to. And look, I absolutely the reason that gambling was kept out of professional sports for 70, 80, 90, 100 years was exactly this. Once they're involved, it has an effect on the game. It can not have an effect on the game. But, and I think it is here. And it's not just the first down, which I think was a first down by Josh Allen. And it's not just the
I got a first down twice on the drive and lost. They get a first down twice on the same drive and lost possession.
There were just too many massages in a single game to make me say no. And there was after the Bills scored, the long kickoff return by Mahalo or whatever the guy's name is on the Chiefs. Watch that kickoff return on tape and pause it. You can see 4 different blocks in the back, uncalled. You can't miss 4. One of them a little bit iffy, but still 3 obvious illegal blocks. That there's just too much evidence, and this is why sports was kept out of gambling. But here's the point I want to make. I've heard people talk about like 2 fat guys like me whose last names end in a vowel, sitting in a room, a smoke-filled room in big leather chairs, looking at the week's schedule beforehand and going, here's what's going to happen in this game. Here's what's going to happen. No. It doesn't have to be that. Vegas is always going to come out ahead, right? That's why you have a VIG. That's why you have a spread. It's a sucker's bet. It only has to be a couple of games. There only have to be a couple of games, depending on where they are, to get back to being as much in the black as be. It might be like you remember who the Rams were playing. It was a game the Rams were playing, and it was mid-season, and they were up by 9, and instead of going into the end zone, right, and you go, why that? There's no reason to do that because, right, plenty of, and there's other instances of that, guys kicking a field goal or whoever taking the safety instead of punting, But it just has to be a couple of games that Vegas is putting their fingers in the pie. It doesn't have to be them deciding everything that happens.
I don't think it's Vegas.
Pretty easy. It's
I don't think it has anything to do with winning. Or look, the Vegas is always going to win. Okay.
Well, the NFL does get money from the gambling.
I understand that.
And when we say Vegas, we don't mean specifically Las Vegas. We mean
NFL.
When
you're in bed with gambling, you're affected by gambling.
It's all about ratings and merchandise. And here's the one thing I could say about the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay. When was the last time a team from Missouri was the most popular team in sports?
Let me think for a minute. Never?
Yeah.
Right.
So it's flat now. Okay. Something happened. The Chiefs became a winner. They became media darlings. You tie that up with the Kelsey phenomenon, and then, oh shit, he's dating Taylor Swift. And that just pushed everything over the ledge. Everything. The NFL is the most popular sport in America by far. Nothing else is close. Nothing. So they have their hands in everything to get money coming in. And it's still a game that draws a lot of advertising revenue.
Sure.
And the more
eyes
$8
million for 30 seconds on the commercial.
Do you think that when the NFL goes to advertisers and goes, hey, we've got 5, 6, 7, 10 million more 8 to 17-year-old girls watching football right now.
Right. All of a sudden, there's My Little Pony ads on the Super Bowl.
You don't think that is good for advertising dollars?
Of course it is.
That's the reason.
Of course it is.
That's the reason.
It's insane. And like, here's the thing. There's absolutely no way to prove this, but I'm telling you right now, if Taylor Swift never started dating Travis Kelce, I don't know that they would have won both of the last 2 years, let alone be in it this year. You know, I'm telling you, it has a big thing to do with
I'm
it.
not going to say that that's the case, but what I'm saying is
they are getting so much revenue specifically because of Taylor Swift.
Yes.
Period. So anyway.
All right. Well, there's our football talk.
There's our football talk. So on that note, one other thing too, I want to just say. I saw a reel this morning. I think I sent it to both of you. It was a woman walks out and looks at her husband and says, "This is great. Did you hear? Yes. Taylor Swift's team is going to the Super game."
Oh, I saw that. That first 5 seconds of that is great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was that was pretty funny.
Yeah,
the Reds. The Reds.
Just hold it because you saying that almost gave me an aneurysm.
The Reds.
I thought that was a great line. Taylor Swift's team is going to the Super game. Then after that, it just like it carried it a little too far. But I thought
Taylor Swift doesn't have a team. Yes, she does. Taylor Swift doesn't have a team. Yes, she does. They're all in red. It's great. The Reds, the red team. It's great. Anyway.
Yeah. Did you get the message, John?
I did. I'm gonna
all right, cool. So see if you can download it and upload it in time. It's only as big as the other file. So
right. Do you want to?
We can talk about other stuff.
Right. Right. Well, I just want to,
or we can, just post it and.
I could post it separately afterwards.
Yeah, that'd probably be better.
Well, I'm just saying you might have time to do it because I got a bunch of other stuff to talk.
Well, we could do it at the end. It could be the outro.
You know what? Let's do Are They For Real? Or we could see if you can get it happen before the show ends. Great. If not, so we could do Are They For Real?
Fair enough. I hear what you're saying, and I think that's a good idea. All right.
What is real?
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
Pretty sure none of that's real.
You're not real.
For real, for real, for real. Yeah.
Are you for real? For real? For real? For real?
Are they for real?
What is real?
All right. Are they for real? As you know, on this program, it means a lot of different things. So first up, we are going to talk a little bit of hockey right now because we're going to talk about the Utah Hockey Club, which is the new team in the NHL this year. And that is their temporary name, which I think is a great name.
It's the new old team because they were the Arizona Coyotes. But
well, it's the Utah Hockey Club. Yeah, exactly. But it's the Utah Hockey Club right now.
Right.
And that was their temporary name. And we're going to have fans write in and give us suggestions. And then we're going to take the top 3. And then people are going to vote. And then that's what we're going to. I think Utah Hockey Club is great. UHC. Right? Got great initials. Lots of logo possibilities. They're going through with the contest. So the first 3 names that the 3 that they put up to say, okay, you decide one of these 3 was the Yeti. Utah Yeti, and the Utah Mammoth, or the Utah Wasatch. which is named after a mountain range.
Mountain range in Utah, yeah, absolutely.
So Yeti, the cooler company, said, you can't do that. That's ours.
Yeah.
So that's out. So no Utah Yeti, which is too bad because that one has the nice. That one has the nice. If only they would. UMP. That's see, those are good initials too. But that has nice alliteration. Utah Yeti. You got those Y sounds, but that one's out. And then what quickly emerged is that a lot of people, even people in Utah, didn't know what the Wasatch. And I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. They didn't even know what that meant. Mm-hmm. They were like, "Oh, that's the name of the mountains." So that one's kind of. And then a lot of people wrote in
indigenous.
Yeah, exactly. And certainly, probably most people outside of Utah had no idea. So, and really, naming a hockey club after a mountain range,
right?
Come on. So a lot of people wrote in
like naming a baseball team after a mountain range.
Yeah, well, but that's one that everybody knows.
Right.
Everybody knows the Rocky Mountains.
Right.
If you go, hey man, I'm going on vacation to the Wasatch Mountains, I go, where's that? Europe? I have no idea.
It's almost as obscure as Mount Airy Lodge.
Exactly. Right. And the Poconos. It's beautiful.
Beautiful
Mount Airy Lodge.
Yeah, it's probably about 40 minutes from where I grew up. Anyway, so a lot of people wrote in and said, we like the Utah Outlaws, which is a pretty good name. You got the old West.
Is there a soccer team called the Outlaws? I think there is.
I think there's a lacrosse team, actually.
Yeah, okay.
Named the Outlaws.
Can you call a lacrosse team Outlaws, though?
I don't know. It might be a women's team.
I think
I don't know.
Is it the Colorado Outlaws?
Didn't there used to be like a USFL team called the Outlaws? Or indoor football league or something had an Outlaws, right? Anyway, but a lot of fans.
The Arizona Outlaws were the USFL team.
USFL. So a lot of people like that one though. So they're like, okay, we will put that one in the mix. So they're still voting. I don't know if they're deciding today. I just checked before we came on the air. They hadn't decided yet. So I wanted to ask you guys, which of those names do you think is the most for real? Should they just keep it, Utah Hockey Club? Go for, I guess, the Mammoth, or Wasatch is kind of out, or the Outlaws. So I guess Hockey Club, Mammoth, or Outlaws. Which one's most for real? And you can say this is the one I like the best.
I like the Outlaws.
Or you can say this is the one I think is going to win. And so that's
well, it's both. I like the Outlaws the best. I agree with you, but I think the Mammoth is going to wind up being it. I think the Mammoth is the most.
But that's the Colorado soccer team.
The Mammoth.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
interesting.
Very interesting.
Harry,
I don't think it's going to be the Wasatch.
No, I don't think
it's too obscure.
For sake of not totally being disgusting, I will. I like the Outlaws. There's a couple other names that. DM us privately. I'll let you know what I think they should be.
Yeah.
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah. We should stay away with. For once, not for once, let's stay away from it.
UMP is flowing. I mean,
UMP. I like Utah Hockey Club. It's simple. You know what I mean? We've got some soccer teams that are sort of named. That's kind of a European.
Isn't that kind of like Washington football team? Utah Hockey Club.
No, because it's.
See, I like the Salt Lake Outlaws.
Salt Lake Outlaws.
That's not bad.
I'm sick of them not naming it after the city and going for the state just to be inclusive. Fuck you.
Yeah. Here's but I like the UHC. I like Hockey Club. I like that European feel to it. However,
here's my real
one I'd really like to see.
They should do the Provo Outlaws actually.
Is the Utah
the Provolones.
That's not bad. I'd like to see the Utah Youths. Only it would be pronounced like Uncle Vinny and my cousin Vinny. It'd be the Utah Utes.
The Utah Utes.
So I think that. But
I actually do like that. The Utah Utes. I like that.
The Utah Utes. That's got the alliteration too. But I think it's probably going to be the Mammoth.
Yeah, I think that's the most obvious one that they're going to probably wind up falling on. But it's the. Although I do like UMP. I think I agree with Harry.
Yeah, UMP is. That might be the underground. We could probably make a mint selling T-shirts.
Mm-hmm. What would the logo be?
Leave that to me.
Probably have something to do with a peach.
I got you there. Don't worry about that.
Or, yeah.
Right.
I think actually there are some.
There's salt flats and there's salt licks.
Some almond flavored baked goods that they sell in Chinatown. That
fair enough.
Almond flavored.
Yeah.
Huh?
Almond.
Well, they have almond paste inside, so
I don't know. It's never tasted
you
like
bite
an
into
almond.
it oozes out.
I'm liking where you're going, but it's a little.
I don't know if you can put it on a jersey. Hey kids, get you free. UMP jersey.
Well,
complete with extra almond paste.
Their minor league team
10 and under.
can be the MS.
There you go.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, you're fortunate.
You're fortunate. There you go. Sorry. Sorry. At your expense. We're having fun. You don't know.
Guess.
Yeah.
Guess and send us a message.
Yeah.
Typical
Guess,
show.
if you're interested, guess and send us a message. We'll let you know off the air if you're right.
Or you'll see our merchandise that we create.
There's that.
You'll know.
You'll
know when we're.
And then once you see the logo, you know what we meant. So there.
Yeah. Part 2 of.
I don't know how I'm going to get ice skates on it, but I'll.
Where there's a will, there's a way, my friend.
That's right.
There you go.
All right. Whew. No, I should have done these in the opposite order. All right. Are they for real? Who's less for real? Are they for real? Can mean less for real, as in the most suckage.
Okay.
NFL refs who are obviously in bed on the take and or scared of Vegas. NBA refs where nobody calls traveling ever. I mean, it's one thing if you take an extra step, but guys taking 5, 6.
I've literally seen guys run from before they get to the top of the key and
it's not just the big names.
Anybody.
The lesser known players do get called a little bit more, but I've seen guys whose names I've never heard of traveling and carrying.
They're like maybe 2 steps past half court, not dribbling,
and they're running.
They're running. Yeah.
Refs have given up. So, or third, we're going to put the Major League Baseball umps in there because we've been away from baseball since the end of the World Series. But the strike zone, okay, there is an officially
it's gotten bigger and bigger
defined or designated strike zone, officially designated by the league. But the umpires know it's my strike zone, and I'm going to call it the way I want it. And we've just, again, you want to talk about bad calls in a game. How many bad strike calls are there in a game? Mm-hmm. I'm going to leave out the hockey refs because I don't know enough about hockey. But between those 3, who's got the most suckage? The NFL, which we're focused on right now with the Chiefs and all that, and not just the Chiefs, the league in general,
right?
But mostly the Chiefs. NBA, who has seemed they've given up, or Major League Baseball. Who's got the worst umps?
You know what? I mean, I'll kick it off. I will tell you that I will. Oh, look at that! We've outlasted the long.
That's the 10-minute bed.
Yeah. I will kick it off. I will say, in every different season, I would probably lean towards a different one, but trying to step out of how I'm feeling right now, what's going on with football, I still have to say that the most egregious, is NFL.
I don't think the NBA refs are bad. I think that they've been told. I think the rules have changed. Here's 2 things I would do in the NBA: call 3 things. 2 are major, 1's minor.
Yeah.
Call traveling. Okay, with the reality that the Euro step is part of the game. Okay, number 2. Okay, let them play defense and stop the automatic calls whenever the hand is part of the ball. Let's just make that back to a rule. Unless it's really blatant and somebody gets chopped on the arm, let them play.
Right.
And number 3, this rolling the ball in after a basket and letting it roll 3/4 of the way to half court so that you can save 2 seconds on the shot clock. That needs to stop. It drives me insane.
It's insane. It's ridiculous.
Other than that,
as soon as the ball is in the court of play, you start the timer. Is that?
Right. You can't. Yeah, if you're gonna, exactly. So it stops as soon as it leaves the person's hand. The clock starts.
All right, now wait a minute. What about on a cross-length throw-in where you're hoping for a catch and shoot? You're going to take that time off the clock?
No.
So if it's on the floor,
Yeah.
If it's in the air, wait till somebody touches it. If it's on the floor, clock starts.
Yeah.
I can get behind that. Because number one, the long throw is an exciting play.
Right.
At least, certainly when the shot's made.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I agree. The rolling, and I don't understand.
It's
just,
stupid.
Just send one player down there,
or let Rick Pitino coach a team again and install his full court press, and it'll go away in no time.
Yeah. There you go.
Remember the Knicks back in the? That's insane.
All right, so the NBA is the worst in your opinion?
No, I think the NFL is the worst.
NFL is the way for the most
because it has nothing to do with competency. It has everything to do with what seems to be an outcome. Yeah. Now you could say there was a little bit of that with baseball, with the but the Astros were cheating. It wasn't really the refs. Look, there's the most wide-ranging accuracy is in baseball. Now that Angel Hernandez is gone, that statistic is going to creep back to 25% normalcy. Yeah. But I like the fact that the strike zone's a little different with each. I kind of like those old school traditions, But I think that the NFL is by far. There just seems to be more things that are just and we have all of these reviews which should help this stuff, but it doesn't.
But when it's something obvious like that non-catch
or the
where there's two guys fighting over the ball and the ref runs in and immediately signals for Kansas City, who had a hand on the ball that was in the crook of the arm of the defender.
Right.
And then they review it, and the edge of the ball clearly touches the ground, which would not be a catch.
Right.
And it
moved. It moved too.
That is absolutely true. The other thing is, remember the first game of the season with the illegal formation calls because the tackles were bent back to where they normally were after a scrimmage. Right. That went away. So all of these rules that they try to initiate, they don't do anything. Here's one other thing I will say about the NFL, okay? Go back and watch film of Joe Jacoby and John Hanna play. Whatever they did, that's legal. Everything else is illegal. Yeah. These holding calls, it is impossible for an offensive lineman to block people nowadays based on what the defense is allowed to do and what the offense is allowed.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
it is
how
just
do you stop anybody.
It's insane. So my whole thing is that if you grab somebody a little bit and you're within and your arms are within and you're not grabbing out, that's fine. That's fine. Because
you're allowed to hold them as long as you get around you. You can't pull them back.
Block again. We got to learn how to block again. Okay. That's the one thing. So And I also think that they should limit how far out off of the tackle that the defensive ends can be.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The only other thing that I think we have to fucking get rid of is this goddamn tush push. You cannot push anybody from behind or pull anybody.
That was the rule for decades.
End of discussion.
For decades, you couldn't push somebody from behind.
That sequence of events in was it the Eagles game?
The Commanders. Well, then we found out the obscure rule. Yeah. If you do it enough times, we're going to just give them a touchdown.
Granted a touchdown.
And my question was who on Washington ran over and go, well, how many times more do we get to do it?
What's his name? Who had a hell of a game? I forget the linebacker's name. Begins with an M. I can't remember. He did it 3 times in a row.
Yeah. It's a great strategy for the tush push. Yeah. If you guess right, it works.
Anyway.
Right? If you guess right, now listen, let me just give you my thoughts on this. Because I was really torn by this. Because you're right, I agree. The NFL, they're bad, whatever. They're in bed with Vegas, this and that. But the thing about the MLB umps that swayed me towards them is they can throw you out of the game for nothing.
Yeah.
For a bad look or for something
Or
that
for
somebody
somebody
else
in
in
the
the dugout
stands said.
says,
Or a fan
that they think, think you said.
Yeah.
But as far as the on the field stuff, they only are making a bad call on that one pitch or that one outplay or whatever. I mean, it might be more than one during the game.
Right.
But if it's a bad pitch, maybe it's a third strike call and the batter has to go sit down, but somebody else is going to come up. In football, they have such an effect on the outcome of the game, whether it's the turnover of the ball, whether it's on downs, or whether you're forcing them to punt, or whether you're taking that, a 3rd and 11 and making it a 3rd and 21 or whatever. So I eventually have to come down on the side of the NFL refs being the worst. Just
now. I think it's because we're in the midst of it.
It is. But boy, Major League Baseball umpires in smaller, subtle ways, really.
Right.
I think
you want to fix the game. Go back to watch film of Earl Weaver, okay, and see how much leeway he was given before he was tossed.
Oh, yeah.
That's the standard, and players should be able to chirp a little bit more than what they are. And here's the other thing: somebody gets hit by a pitch or brushed back, that other team gets one free one, baby. They get one free one.
Oh yeah, you should. Yeah, you can't give the warning till the other team does it. Then you should warn everybody.
Then you should, exactly.
All right. So
so the NFL is the winner and the loser.
The NFL is the winner and the loser. Yes, very good.
As usual.
We're gonna have the Utah Ragamuffins. What was it? The Utah Mammoth?
The Utah Mouth Laws. I think they could combine
Utah Mother-in-Law.
The mother-in-laws. All right. So that's it for Are They For Real?
All right. Good. Are They For Real?
I do have a quick over-under.
All right.
Go for it. I actually have a couple of other things.
Let's
all right. Well, go ahead.
Do your other things.
All right.
Do your other thing.
John's
I have one other thing. So
other things.
Okay. Well, I only have one other thing. Actually.
One other thing. John's one other thing.
John's one other thing.
John, tell us about your one other thing.
We need numbered themes.
Nope.
Yeah.
John's one other thing. Pete's 3 other things.
Pete's
2 other things.
My one other thing
Pete's random thoughts.
My one other thing is the video you wanted me to upload here. Are we just going to exit out to it, or what are we doing?
Oh, we could exit the show that way.
Yeah, exit the show that way.
That way, Harry could bail.
Harry can bail and
watch. If he doesn't, if he can't.
How long
the
is
time,
it?
It's 5 minutes.
5 minutes. 5.5 minutes.
I'm bailing.
I only spent like 12 hours making it.
It's a lot of work.
I'll watch it
because I started to do it one way and then it got so frustrating. I just
I know.
Grab it and start over. But
I made a 3-minute music video that took me 4.5 days.
Yeah. And then you don't want to see somebody bail out after 90 seconds. But I'll forgive you. Well, look,
no, I'll watch it.
Be up on the screen.
But
be up on the screen.
Let's get on with John's one other thing.
My one other
thing. All right. Well, let me do my over under.
Go for
it. So this is an NBA real quick. Anthony Davis about 20 more games than Luka Doncic. So or the over under is going to be who plays more games when the season's over.
Davis.
Does Davis stay healthy and play more, or does he's already up by 20?
Yeah.
Davis.
John. Agreed. Davis.
Yeah, easy. All right. Who wins more games, the Lakers or the Mavs?
The Lakers.
I think the Lakers are +3 heading into tonight's action in the win column.
Well, I don't know when Doncic is coming back.
I'm going to say the Mavs.
I think the Mavs.
All right. You might be right. I forgot Doncic isn't playing right now. So
yeah, no, but he might get healthy pretty quickly, right? I don't know if he's pulling a Jimmy Butler. Remember Jimmy Butler said, "Oh, I'm hurt," and then suddenly he wasn't hurt. All right, so 2 other things real quick. Oh, sort of. I should have put this under Are They For Real? Is Justin Tucker the new Deshaun Watson?
100%.
Is it
100%?
Do you think there's that many women?
According to what's coming out, yeah.
Really, I don't know much about it.
There's about 6, I think, as far as I know, 6 so far.
Well, he's got a ways.
Although there's been no formal lawsuit.
And these are all massage therapists?
Yes.
I believe so, yeah. Now, here's the thing. Let me run through this.
I just texted you both the logo for the UMPs. Tell me what you think.
All right, cool. The NFL has said it's going to look into the allegations, right?
All right.
If they're going to actually investigate it, they have to identify the 6 accusers, and then they have to interview them.
Right.
Now, the NFL doesn't have subpoena power, so they can't make anybody talk to them. And, of course, if they don't talk to them, then it goes nowhere. Nobody has actually sued Justin Tucker, apparently, at this point. And there's also could be some statute of limitations that have expired since any of these happened.
Sure.
So, and in addition to that, Justin Tucker, whether guilty or innocent, could negotiate settlements with these accusers. And in those settlements, they could have non-disclosure agreements, which would prevent them from talking to the NFL. So then, therefore, the NFL couldn't investigate.
Right. So
the NFL can change its policies. So this is what I want to ask you. Should they? They can, or can they, should they? So they can do a couple things. Number one, they can say, okay, you can't settle until we interview the accusers. If we're doing a formal investigation, the player can't make any settlements until we talk to the accusers. I don't know if you can legally enforce that one, but that might be a route they go for. Even if they do that, of course, they still can't force anybody to talk to them, but at least they could keep the settlements potentially from happening.
Right.
Or they might try and ban the confidentiality agreements as part of the settlement. You can settle, but you can't keep the people from talking. Again, I don't know if they have the legal authority to do that, but they could at least try it. So should they try one or both of these things in order to at least allow them to talk to these people, if the people are willing to talk to them?
I would say both of them. You
do both of them, right?
Yeah.
If you really want to get to the bottom of this,
of course.
And we were talking about doing our top 10 list, great kickers.
Right.
I had this guy pretty high on my list because even though he's still playing,
he's been referred to many times over the last 10 years as the best kicker ever.
Yeah, the guy's great.
Well, this year, whoever was giving him massages wasn't doing him any favors.
Not so much.
No, well, apparently they weren't going through with part 2 of the massage. And actually, there are people that are speculating that these allegations now are maybe because he's not having such a great season or did not have such a great season last season. So they're like, maybe
this is bubbling under, before
a little bit of a distraction. So, but yeah, I think, but the NFL is so toothless. It's really do the owners want this to happen or do the owners want their players to be able to wiggle out of it?
Ask Robert Kraft how this will be handled.
Yeah. But I think they should do something, but they're spineless.
I agree. Okay.
All right. Last thing. It's basketball. And I'm just going to say this now. I've talked about LeBron James, and I probably think he's closer to being the GOAT than a lot of other people. I know. I have to go to MJ because of how I'm feeling now. But there are people. Oh, it's MJ and LeBron. He might even be below Kobe. Or it's MJ and then it's LeBron. And I was like, it's MJ and then it's LeBron. I felt like he was really there. And at times I felt like he's done more with less than MJ did. But you can't ignore but I don't want to get into that argument.
I don't know about that, but okay.
Yeah, I know. No, that's not the point I'm trying to bring up here. What I want to say about LeBron is he is a pussy baby pants. And I'm done with him. The whole Bronny thing, what he's done with the Lakers. At the way he flops,
pussy baby pants.
Pussy baby pants. The way he flops, the way he gets brushed on the head and lies on the court like somebody hit him with a fucking hatchet. Come on, dude. You act like you were struck with a 2x4 or something. He's such a fucking pussy.
Yeah.
It's just, and I know he always kind of was. And I can't deny that he's still one of the greatest players, but I don't care how many points you score. I think I posted the thing, the quote unquote, which I saw today. The real reason Anthony Davis was traded was when he was talking about 30-point games that LeBron passed MJ. And they said to Davis, how do you feel about it? And he goes, it bothers me. And he was joking.
Yeah.
He goes, it bothers me, but at least it took him 7 more seasons. And he looks over at LeBron and but LeBron, go fuck yourself, LeBron. You've lost credibility. Yes, we have to still respect.
There's a lot more, right? There's a lot more to being the GOAT.
There's more to being the GOAT than how many points
you
score.
Look,
how many championships you won and all that stuff.
Here's who I think LeBron is. Look, I'll give LeBron credit for one thing that Jordan never did. When it comes to speaking out about social issues that are, I think, an important role, LeBron James there's been nobody better with the exception of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. And in his credit, I think LeBron has done it in a way that
I personally think Lou Alcindor spoke out more than Kareem.
Well, that's less intellectual and more widely accepted by the public.
Yeah, he's used his platform.
I will say this as well. Right now in today's game, a lot of the best stars are just they're hateable.
Yeah,
they're just not great people.
No, you're right there.
Yeah, it's hard to have.
As far as LeBron being the GOAT, numbers wise, it's really no argument. Okay, that he's right there under Jordan, and I for years argued that I'm not sure Jordan is the GOAT. Okay, but
there's that discussion too.
But I could lose that. Okay, there are players who have put up incredible numbers over their careers, mind-boggling numbers, far beyond LeBron, like Wilt Chamberlain, who doesn't get the credit I think he deserves because they say he didn't play against top competition, which by the way is bullshit. And number 2,
how many times did he play the fucking Celtics?
Or the Knicks, or Willis Reed, or Bill Russell, and then Kareem, what was Kareem? By the time he got to the NBA,
that was Kareem. I knew.
So my point being is that LeBron is one of the best players of all time, and if you're looking at just statistics and somewhat for achievements, then all right, let's talk about the position. Then you could argue he is the best small forward in the history of the game.
Sure.
Okay.
And he's got great accomplishments.
I will say this, though. In their prime, LeBron James versus Larry Bird, I'm sorry. I'm taking Larry Bird.
Right.
And that's how I look at players. Okay. Steph Curry's numbers are going to far surpass Magic Johnson's. Okay. And look, Steph Curry has changed the game of basketball, I think, more than LeBron James has.
Right.
Okay. I think Bird and Magic changed the game. I think Dr. J before them. I think obviously you go back, you have Wilt, Oscar Robertson. LeBron didn't necessarily change the game as much as Steph Curry did. I think Steph Curry did something that, and I don't like the game that he created, but I'm not going to take away his immense talent. But there's 2 or 3 other point guards that I'm taking over Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. If it's a game 7 in their prime and I want a starting team, okay, Larry Bird's going to be on that team. Okay. Hakeem Olajuwon might be on that team ahead of Wilt and Shaq and Kareem. But, Kareem is definitely, I think, another guy who doesn't get enough talking. Did I just give a thumbs up or something like that?
Yeah, it worked for you. It didn't work for me.
I don't know. So anyway,
my point is, it's just hard to It's you still have to acknowledge, but it's hard for me, as much as a fan of his as I was. It's hard for me to respect LeBron and the shit that he's doing.
There was also a lot more mystique to players. We didn't have such exposure to them all the time. Michael Jordan was out smoking cigars and betting on the golf course 12 minutes before an NBA Finals game.
Yeah,
and
the stuff
no one knew about it.
The stuff that Lawrence Taylor did that you hear the stories later, walking into the.
I don't judge anybody for what they do off the court unless it's really horrific. And look, Taylor in his past has done some things that are not ideal after he was in football. And who knows what happened during football.
Right.
But if it didn't affect your performance on the field,
the argument of the GOAT,
say LeVee,
in basketball, to me, and the argument of the GOAT in a team sport is, I just think it's a moot point. But if you want to argue who's the all-time starting five by position, let's have this discussion.
Right.
But if I'm starting a team, okay, and I can get Michael Jordan in his prime or LeBron James in his prime, I'm taking Michael Jordan. Now, here's the one thing I will say about LeBron. LeBron was better at winning in the postseason earlier in his career than Jordan.
Yep.
Jordan just had a magic run or two. Let's call it 2 runs. Yep. And I think that's the reason why he's up there. It's the mystique of him. But it's a generational thing. There are kids now who think, Steph Curry's the best player in the game, or there's gonna be arguments that who knows who. Giannis is the best player in the game.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, if we're gonna do like the best 5 in the game, yeah, that's good. I'll put Jordan at shooting guard.
Yeah.
Put LeBron at small forward and put them both on the
and a lot of people would say that.
Right. Sorry. I mean, I don't know if I can really do that. No offense to Oscar Robertson.
Right.
But if you're talking about the last, what are we talking about? The last 30 to 40 years,
right.
That era, as opposed to breaking into the 80s or the 90s, or put them both on.
Yeah, I would definitely do that.
Without a doubt.
It's really disappointing for me to see.
You could make a strong argument for that. For me, okay, I think I want the most clutch players in the in the playoffs and in championship situations to be on my starting 5.
Right.
So my starting 5 are Bird, okay? It's Tim Duncan, it's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, it's Magic Johnson, and it's Michael Jordan. So that's my all-time starting 5. But people would argue that I get it. Over the career, the numbers, the durability, LeBron has done one thing better than anybody in the history of the NBA, and that is he has played at a peak level for an enormous amount of time.
Where would you put Muggsy Bogues on that list?
Yeah, he's one of the best players under 6 foot to ever play the game.
That's true.
50.
I think the only problem with your list is other than Magic, who's going to pass the ball?
Well,
Jordan's taking the shot.
Well, we're all taking the shot.
Taking the shot.
Well,
Kareem's got the sky hook that you can't stop.
But hold on. Kareem had one of the highest assist averages for a big man in the history of the game. Bird probably averaged 7 assists a game. There were games where Larry Bird, look, he was one of the best passers in the history of the game.
Comes down to the clutch with the game on the line. I guess you could say, well, any of those guys could take the last shot.
Imagine doubling Michael Jordan, and Michael Jordan just has to go like that to Larry Bird for a mid-range jumper, or vice versa. Or
imagine,
they both step back and you dump it into Kareem, who then
Duncan would pass it. Duncan. And LeBron is known for not taking the last shot, and Duncan
would also get the rebound of the miss and put it back and get fouled and hit the free throw.
Yeah. All right. I guess that's all I got.
You said you have an over-under?
Oh no, that was the who plays more games, who wins more games.
Oh, that was a
little bit of a different over-under.
I got you. All right, fair enough.
All
right.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, quick question. Question. This is just a yes or no.
Mm-hmm.
College football. We talk about the transfer portal, great for the players, right? Is it going to make it harder to hang on to coaches? Because if players aren't transferring to their team, they're probably transferring away.
Well, yeah, we've already seen far more movement in coaches over the last few years.
Yeah, so why is it?
And we saw a lot of the, sort of legacy coaches. I think
guys win the national championship and then they leave. Granted, it's for an NFL job, but
or not. I mean,
but they might also leave for another college job.
We saw a lot of legacy coaches sort of not like the portal and leave because of it. So
I don't know.
The answer is yes. I think in anything in life, we're going to see more movement and people sticking at their job for far less time. That's just a trend in every job, including college and NFL coaches.
Yeah, but sports is one of the leaders in that thing.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Agreed.
In that sense. All right, that's all I've got. So we're going to play the video separately?
So we'll play the video separately. We'll put it up as a separate thing, so this way it can get traction on its own.
So that, or if it gets shut down,
it's not shutting our video down.
Last hour and 35 minutes that we've just done.
Right, exactly.
So when people tune in to watch the show, they just see this show has been removed for.
Speaking of outlaws, this is 3 outlaws signing off.
Exactly.
Well, yeah, John and I were talking about it.
201, the 708, and the 718.
What are they going to do to us? They're going to send somebody to my house to confiscate the video?
Yeah.
We'll
Roger Goodell's going to show up and knock on your door. Hello, what are you doing?
Yeah, I need that flash drive back.
Exactly.
So, so we'll put up the championship weekend recap of the AFC and the NFC championship games.
What do you got?
Days up. I urge you all to go and check it out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'm
actually
proud of it.
If you're watching this right now, it'll be up within 5 minutes of this video ending. If you're not watching this right now, and you're rewatching it, it's already up. Just you probably passed it to get to this video. So
are we not picking who we think's going to win the Super Bowl?
We can do that now, or we can do that on our Sunday show.
Are we doing a Sunday show?
We are. Every Super Bowl. This will be the 5th one we do.
I don't know about that.
Well, this will be the 5th one that me and Pete do. You weren't on last year's.
Yeah. So because you did it at like 10 a.m.
10 a.m. for you.
Yeah.
Was it where was 1 year I was in the parking lot, right?
Yeah, you were in the parking lot. Yeah, 1 year.
In the parking lot behind the mall. None of the security guard came by.
I hear it's where you do some of your best work.
Well, no,
people expect you to be there. You better show up.
You better show up,
right, especially at Super Bowl Sunday.
Harry, last year you were
Justin Tucker. What's that?
Last year you were babysitting a dog. That's why you couldn't.
Yeah, probably.
Oh yeah. But yeah, Super Bowl Sunday is a good. I'd say 1/8 of my yearly income all in one 3-hour stretch.
There you go. I'm like, yeah. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah.
And what a stretch it is.
And what a stretch it is.
But then I have to have someone feed me snacks for the rest of the day because I can't.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. So on the Sunday show, we'll post what time we're going to do it. We'll discuss that after we sign off now. But it'll be full of Super Bowl day. Food and beverages and not too much on that because we've done that to death. But we'll
have the prop bets too.
But we're gonna have the prop bets. We're gonna do the prop bets. We're gonna do a little bit of trivia and some fun quizzes. Not gonna be a long show. And then we'll do
Super Bowls.
And we'll do our And then we'll do our. And then
we're gonna have an intense play-by-play breakdown of the 2007 Super Bowl.
Exactly. And then we're gonna do our picks then at that point.
So if you don't see if you don't see the championship weekend recap video, that means it's taken down.
I'm gonna wear Jack Lambert's helmet from 78.
I think you should, and I think you should fix your teeth to look just like him in that picture in Sports Illustrated. So,
all right, let's wrap this up.
All right. On that note, we will wrap up the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.getonwithitpodcast.com. That's getonwithitpodcast.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Just search for the Get On With It podcast. And of course, all of our shows are available. What's that?
We should put in the links.
We should put in the links. And of course, all of our shows are available on YouTube as well, on the Logger Room Podcast Network channel. And remember, we go live with the video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, X, and Twitch every other Wednesday night. I did it again, didn't I, Pete? Every other Wednesday night around 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our audio Spreaker as well as anywhere else you find your audio podcasts. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more feeds, and you will never miss a show. And then, anyway, again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Don't forget to tune in. Don't forget to watch Pete's championship weekend recap video, which will be up momentarily after this show ends. And don't forget to tune in on Sunday for our Super Bowl Sunday spectacular that we do every year. And we'll talk
8
to you
a.m. Eastern time.
then.
Gary will be on around 11.
Maybe a little.
I'll have to do coke the night before so I can stay awake.
I see a Lawrence Taylor.
There you go. Just throwing it in. There you go. Anyway, all right. We'll talk to you on Sunday, folks. Enjoy. Take care. Cheers.
Bye, everybody.